All right, hi you guys, welcome back to another yoga video. My name is Hales if we haven't met. Today we're doing a short and sweet 20-minute full body flow. For this class, all you're going to need is a yoga mat or a soft spot to practice on. There will be a playlist linked in the description box below. If you're doing this class on a computer, you should be able to have two browsers open at the same time and manually adjust the volume in each browser. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to set up a second device to play the playlist. Of course, you're welcome to do this class without music, or if you don't like kind of hip-hop music, you're more than welcome to listen to your own playlist. So you can go ahead and get that up now. Otherwise, we'll be getting into it. So you can go ahead, you can pull up that playlist on Spotify. Make sure you're not on shuffle. And then you're going to press play on that first song in 3, in 2, in 1. All right, you guys, so let's get started. As always, if you've taken my class before, we always get started in a place of meditation, a place of stillness, a place of rest. So this could look like laying on your back or on your side and coming to your tall, comfortable seat, child's pose, wherever it feels really easy, really natural for you to be there. And then once you arrive in that kind of first shape, see if you feel comfortable enough to close the eyes. And then as the eyes flutter to close, as your body becomes still, see if you can just take a moment just to check in, just to acknowledge, just to see how you're really doing and how you're really feeling. And I want you to imagine this conversation as kind of there's a difference. So you know those acquaintances you see and you ask them how they are and it's good, thanks, how are you, kind of in passing as you walk by. Then there's those conversations you have with your closer circle when they ask how you really are and you take that moment to reflect and to really answer honestly. So as we start off this class asking ourselves how we're really doing, I want you to imagine that it is that close friend, that person you care the most about, asking you and check in with you. And give yourself that same pause, that same space, just to really acknowledge, no judgment, how you're feeling, how you're doing, and most importantly, what you need in the next 20 minutes here on your mat. As you're ready, we'll start to breathe. So let's take a nice big full inhale together through the nose. And then big full exhale, see if you can let something go. We'll do it again, even bigger. Take a big full inhale, really breathe it all in. Big full cleansing exhale, go ahead, let it go. From here, you have about 3 or so breaths. We're gonna make our way to hands and knees. So you can transition there however you'd like. You have a couple breaths. And then arriving in hands and knees, you're gonna spread all 10 fingertips out nice and wide. And then start with your spine in that neutral tabletop position. We're gonna start by warming up through the back body. So you're gonna take an inhale breath. Now start to let your spine arch. You're lifting up the top of the collarbones. You're lifting up your tailbone. Good, and then nice full exhale. You're gonna think about rounding your spine. You're gonna think about imprinting that center spine bone all the way up towards the ceiling. Let's do this 3 more times. So take an inhale, really shine the chest open. Stick the tailbone up and back. Good, then exhale, round in, like you could almost attach your chest in towards your thighs. You fold in half. Gorgeous friends, 2 more. Take an inhale. Maybe you find a little bit more space in this shape. Exhale, can you squeeze a little bit more air out of those lungs as you round? 1 more. Take an inhale here. Start to arch, lift up through the chest. Good, exhale, press your spine up towards the ceiling. Now come back through center, find that neutral tabletop position, so spine nice and long. We're just gonna do a tiny bit of a core warm up. So you're gonna take those 10 fingertips a little bit wider, tuck your 10 toes under if you haven't. Now lift those knees up 2 inches to hover, bring your back to a tabletop position. Spine to tabletop, good, strong, press that floor away. Option to stay, to breathe, to hold here. Or maybe you extend that left leg back behind you, but keep that right knee hovering just 2 inches, hold for 5. Good, pull the low abs in for 3 and 2. 1, nice and slow, you're gonna switch. Bring those left toes down. If you took the left foot out, now you're gonna take the right foot out. Good, keep that left knee hovering nice and low. Keep pressing that floor away, hold for 4. 1 more hold coming up in 3 and 2, 1. Good, bring all toes down, those knees stay to hover. Press that floor away. Can you flatten out that spine 1 more inch? We're here for 5. Beautiful, you're pressing up and back to downward facing dog in 3, and 2, 1. Gorgeous, press those hips up high and back, and downward facing dog. And so a couple of breaths here. Getting used to this kind of more upside down position in the head. You might feel a little bit of blood rushing forward. And then be kind to yourself, bend those knees a lot. Might be your first stretch of those hamstrings, those calves today. And then maybe see what it feels like to add in a little bit of movement. Bending or pedaling those knees side to side. Maybe a little shimmy or shake of those shoulders to drop that upper body tension. Good, from here you're gonna take an inhale. You're gonna start to press down through your left foot. You're gonna sweep that right heel up towards the ceiling. So you're gonna find a 3-legged dog. And good, take a nice big inhale here. Can you fight to reach that heel 1 inch higher? And good, exhale, you're gonna squeeze. Can you touch your right knee all the way in towards the nose? And 2 more like this. Take an inhale, reach that heel high. And gorgeous, exhale, squeeze your knee to nose. We do this 1 more time. Take an inhale, last little reach of that heel up and back. Now exhale, squeeze, crunch, knee to nose. From your knee to nose position, you're gonna swing that lower leg forward, landing that right foot between your hands. So I'm meeting you in a runner's lunge. Good, take a moment to ground down through those hips. Your legs are gonna stay as they are. Now start to take those right fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling. And good, keep rolling that right shoulder back, reaching those fingertips back behind you, maybe feeling that gentle stretch through that right pec muscle, that right chest, maybe through that outer right glute. And good, take 1 more inhale here. And good, full exhale, you're gonna slowly lower that left knee down towards the floor. Now keep your spine twisted, start to pull that right leg back to straight. You're gonna start to feel this nice, beautiful, juicy stretch through that right outer thigh, that IT band, maybe that outside part of your hamstring. And good, take a nice big inhale here. Can you lengthen those fingertips a little bit higher? And good, with your exhale, can you plug, think about pulling that right hip bone back into its socket. Good, just 1 more inhale here. And that's it, full exhale, take those right fingertips down, framing your front foot. And good, you're gonna tuck those left toes back under, come back to that runner's lunge. And good, from here, you're gonna take an inhale, lift up through those collarbones. Exhale, you're gonna lift those hips high, really gentle hamstring stretch, just warming up, waking up into it. And good, take an inhale, drop through the hips, lift your chest forward. Exhale, pull the hips high. We'll do this 1 more time. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And good, exhale, pull those hips high. And from here, you're gonna come back through that runner's lunge shape, and now you're gonna walk those fingers just a little bit ahead of your shoulders. And good, you're gonna get ready. You're gonna start to lunge onto that right leg. We're gonna come into a gentle airplane pose. So you're gonna be lifting those left toes straight back behind you. Good, and then you're gonna try and rotate that left hip a little bit further down, so that might mean your left leg doesn't get as high. But who cares, there's no one watching, right? And good, so let this feel that length through that back of that right hamstring a little bit more, and then that strength through that left glute a little bit more. Gorgeous friends, take a big inhale. And big exhale. We have a fun transition coming up. We're gonna try and keep this left leg floating the entire time as we bring it up in towards the chest. So nice and slow, start to bend that left knee in to meet your right. Can you keep that left leg floating as you stand all the way up? Really nice. Bring that left knee straight up in towards your chest if you can. You've got it. Working a bit on that right ankle stability. Now from here, that left ankle is going to come across the top of your right knee, across that right thigh, and then you're going to slowly sink into that right leg. You're going to come into that number 4 shape in the hips. And good. So here you should feel a stretch where that left hamstring meets that left glute. Good, and you might wobble, you might fall out, especially if you're doing this in the morning. We usually struggle with that balance a little bit more in the morning, but who cares if you can laugh it off. It's not about being able to hold the pose the whole time, it's about falling out and coming right back in. Beautiful, take 1 more big inhale here, and big full exhale. Next inhale, you slowly stand it up. Exhale, bring that left foot down beside the right. And good, take an inhale, reach those arms all the way up overhead, big stretch up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, dive it forward, forward fold. And good, take an inhale, lengthen the crown of your head forward, length through the low spine. Good, exhale, you're gonna press down through the palms. And now take those feet back, so you're gonna come to a plank atop of a push-up. From here, you choose either from those toes or down from the knees. You're gonna lower all the way to your belly for 3. Lower for 2. And for 1, your chest is gonna hit, untuck those toes. From here, a little bit of chest opening. You're gonna bring those fingertips wider down by your low rib cage. Now take an inhale, roll those shoulders back, lift the chest. Feel all that openness, that stretching through your abs, your chest. Soft exhale, lower down. And 2 more like this. Take an inhale, lift the chest. And good, big exhale, lower down. 1 more time, inhale, maybe find a little bit more lift. Can you get a little bit lighter on those fingertips? And good, exhale, slowly lower the chest all the way back down. Bring those hands underneath the shoulders. And good, start to press your way back to downward facing dog. We're gonna repeat that little flow on your left hand side. So press those palms down in towards the floor. And then take an inhale, sweep your left leg up towards the ceiling. So 3-legged dog. So in 3-legged dog, yes, we're trying to lift that left leg high, but we're also finding that length through your right calf, your right hamstring, and then maybe hollow that space out underneath the armpits a little bit more, stretching your upper back. With your next exhale, you're gonna start to squeeze. Can you tap that left knee in towards your nose? And good, take an inhale, extend that left leg back and high. And good, exhale, squeeze, crunch it in, knee to nose. Well done, friends. 1 more, take an inhale, a little bit more reach. Exhale, squeeze the knee to nose, hold it here. Now lightly swing that left foot forward between the hands. You're coming to a runner's lunge. So fingertips are framing that front foot. From here, keep the lower body stacked. Now reach that left hand up towards the ceiling. So you're inviting in this rotation through your thoracic spine or your upper back. Adding in that rotation is going to change the wrapping of your fascia, your muscle tissue. So you might start to feel that stretch into the glute as you twist, maybe through the pec, the front of the shoulder. Good, just a couple of easy breaths here. Good, then slowly start to lower that right knee down towards the floor. You're gonna stay in that twist. Now pull that left leg all the way back, so feeling that IT band, maybe that outer glute, maybe that outer hamstring stretch. And good, your next exhale, you're gonna start to push back forward through that left leg. Bring your fingertips back down, framing your front foot. Now tuck your back toes, pick up that back knee. We'll flow through the hamstrings, the hips with our breath. So take an inhale, drop the hips a little bit, lift your chest. Good, exhale, pull your hips up towards the ceiling. We'll go 3 more, take an inhale, drop the hips, lift your chest. And good, exhale, pull the hips to ceiling. 1 more time, take an inhale, a little bit heavier through that hip flexor, lifting your chest. Exhale, feel that length through the hamstrings, really nice. And good, you're gonna start to bend back through that left knee. We've got just a little bit of balancing work. You're gonna walk those fingertips just a little bit further ahead of your shoulders. Now launch right into that left leg. So you're squeezing that right butt muscle to pull that right heel up towards the ceiling. Good, now goal here is to square off the hips. So you could balance your cup of coffee on that low back. Good, keep pressing the floor away strong. We've got a little balance work to transition. So we're gonna try and bring that right knee all the way up in towards our chest. Here we go. You're gonna start to bring that right knee to connect to the left. Can you de-weight those fingers? Start to stand it all the way out through that right leg. Gorgeous, so meet you here, right knee pulling in towards your chest. And then from here, you're gonna externally rotate that hip. So you're gonna try and get that ankle across your left thigh. Sometimes I use my hands to help pull it up a little bit higher. Next up, hands to the center of the chest. You're gonna start to shift your hip bones back, lengthening your chest forward, getting into that right glute, right hamstring stretch. And then still working that little stability, that wobble through the left ankle, Building strength through that left side as much as you open up that right side. Gorgeous. Take one more inhale here. Big exhale. Now listen close. You're going to slowly stand up. But I want you to keep that right ankle in front of your left. So keeping right ankle in front of your left. So now your ankles are crossed, your pinky toe to pinky toe. And good. Take an inhale, sweep those fingertips up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. You're coming into that cross-legged forward fold. And then from here, you're going to slowly start to walk those fingers side to side, just opening up into those IT bands, those outer thighs. Then walking those fingers back through center, you're going to cross those ankles the opposite way. So now left ankle in front of the right, keep pinky toe to pinky toe. And get a couple breaths, just walking side to side. Let the head be nice and heavy, getting into those IT bands. And then coming again back through center, fingertips in front. We're going to come into a little bit of a twist through the legs. So you're going to try and remove that ankle. So we're going to take that right ankle, start to lengthen it over towards the left. You're going to think single leg squat through that left leg. You're going to slowly sit down all the way on towards your butt. If you didn't quite make it there, I'm going to meet you sitting on your butt. And then you're going to try and cross that right ankle all the way over to that outside of your left thigh. If that feels like too much for you in those hips, you're just going to extend that bottom leg, that right leg out in front, keep that left knee pulling up in towards your chest. Good. Whether you have that bottom leg straight or bent, you're going to sit up nice and tall, pull that right knee up in towards your chest. And go a little opening through those outer glutes. Option to add that twist over towards the left if that feels good in your body. Next breath in, you're going to slowly unravel, bring your chest back through center. Unravel those legs, give them a little shake. And setting up on your other side, you're going to bend that right knee in, cross your right ankle to the outside of your left thigh. Now, if this is enough of a stretch in your glutes, stay here. If you want a little bit more, you're bending at that left knee to bring your left heel over towards your right butt cheek. So you're in a little pretzel position. Now hug your knees up in towards that chest. Give yourself a squeeze, pulling that knee in. As you squeeze that knee in, you should feel that deeper through that outside of that right glute. Last few breaths here. Now option to add a little bit of a twist, maybe taking those right fingertips back behind you. Maybe looking over that right shoulder. And slowly you're going to come through center, unraveling your twist. Now I'm going to cross those legs, both legs come out nice and long. Give them a little bit of a shake out, a little bit of a release. And good, nice and slow. You can hold on to those back of the thighs. Otherwise, take those fingertips out in front. You're going to roll your way down on towards your back for 3. Roll it down for 2. For 1. Let your shoulders, your head, your neck rest. And then hug those knees up in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. From here, I'm going to leave it up to you. You have about 30 seconds left to finish off your movement. So here you have options. Maybe you take your knees or your arms out wide and then let those knees rock side to side, releasing any low back tension. Maybe you plant your heels, lifting your hips, taking a little back bend, a little glute activation. Or maybe you bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. Whatever it is, you have about 30 seconds to take one more pose or a few more breaths per side. Whatever movement, whatever space, whatever position your body needs a little bit of extra time in. And good, you have about 5 more breaths in these movements. So instead of thinking about what you should be doing, I want you to let your body just move you in a way that feels really good. in a way that feels really intuitive, in a way that makes you feel connected, body to mind, mind to body. And 2 more easy breaths here. 1 more big inhale. 1 more big full exhale. And then you're going to slowly make your way into your final resting shape or your final place of rest. So traditionally in yoga, this is on your back, limbs out long. If you want to bend the knees, lay on your side, take it in seated or child's pose, absolutely, you do that. And then I know, especially when we're practicing at home, when we're not in a studio, it can be really hard to fully land into these final few breaths of meditation and of rest. But in our crazy world with everything going on, these moments of pausing, these moments of stillness, they create space for us to heal. They create that space for us to grow. So see if you can stay here, if you can get uncomfortable with it. And then as you soften into that stillness, can you continue to ask yourself from the most loving and compassionate place how you really are and how you're really doing here. And give your body, give your brain that moment, that opportunity to respond, to really speak to you. And then notice, what's it asking for? Maybe it's asking you for an extra hour of sleep, more water, more nutrients. Maybe it asks you for kindness, for courage. Whatever it is, listen. And then as you move off your mat into your day, your week, your month, can you continue to take these moments to listen to what's going on deep inside? And to not only listen, but to act in a way that honors that and supports that. As you move off your mat, can you continue to act in a way that honors you and supports you? Letting that sink in, we'll close our practice with the final few breaths all together. So you're going to take a nice big full inhale through your nose, breathe it in. Big full exhale, go ahead, let it go. One more time, biggest, fullest inhale through your nose. Biggest, fullest exhale, let it go. Thank you guys so much for doing this 20-minute full body flow with me and everyone watching. As always, send me a message on Instagram at Haley Perry, just my name, if you have any requests, any feedback, anything that you want to see next. Otherwise, stay here in your rest as long as you need, and I will see you guys in the next video.